would pee on me. Get ready with me while I tell you all the things that my ex did, and I still stayed. Eventually, we ended up breaking up, obviously. When I got out of high school and it was time for me to figure out what to do with my life, since I was already hopping house to house my whole senior year, I was going to basically sign a death sentence to go live with my sister because I had nowhere else to go and college just wasn't in my cards. I had a beater car that was breaking down and always in the shop. I had no stable place to live where I wasn't getting constantly yelled at, ridiculed, made fun of, judged. Long story short, I was just over it. I was ready to move states and everything. Like, I just gave up on life for the first time. I was like, I don't know what to do. I was thinking about going to beauty school, but at the time, nobody knew about curly hair, so I was like, you know what, like, it's just time to go, right? Of course, he couldn't let this happen. He made it the biggest deal. He's like, I'm about to graduate soon, and I want you to be my wife. I want you to be a stay-at-home mom. I was like, I'm not trying to hear that. Like, I just really got really nonchalant. I've never been nonchalant before, so he was definitely like, he was shaking in his boots. I was done. Like, I was so done. I was so tired. Then he pulled the suicide card. Yes, he did. He gave me a whole new plan. He said, hey, you can live with me in my dorm in college, so you're not gonna be homeless. You just figure it out from there. I'll pay for everything. Like, I got a job. How about this? 3 months. Just stay with me for the 3 months. We're gonna try again. We're gonna try to make this work. And if it still doesn't work out, then you got it. I can't even say anything, but just try 3 more months. Please, just for the summer, come live with me. I said, no. I said, okay, well, then I'm about to get out this car. I'm gonna walk in incoming traffic. I'm gonna walk across the highway. Boo-hoo tears, by the way. I'm like, I can't have this on my conscience. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I don't think I can't. Like, what am I going to tell people? They're going to think I did it. I don't know. I don't want them problems. I really thought he was going to do this because he's never said this before. So I caved in. I'm just like, look, it's just the summer. I'm just going to get this over with real quick. That way I can have a clean conscience, know that we tried. Can't try to his up. I need a place to stay anyways. I didn't want to move with my sister, so it is what it is, right? I need to concentrate for the eyeliner part, otherwise I'm gonna mess up. She slay, yeah. Wait, low-key, this is turning into a story time. My bad. Basically, he manipulated me and I still stayed. For the first month and a half, I messed it up. No! For the first month and a half, I was just very nonchalant, didn't care about much. He would go above and beyond. I was not into flowers at the time, but he would try to like give me flowers. He would try to take me out more, get me gifts. You know how that goes. I just wasn't feeling it until I realized I'm actually wasting my life. Let me just try to see where this goes, because I think at this point we were on like year 3 or something like that. We were together pretty much 5 years. But yeah, so I started to give in and I had a ball. I lived a college life without the debt, without the homework, without the stress. He was actually stressing me out, but you know what I'm saying. But it got really boring. Like, I was so freaking tired of staying in that dorm room because you needed the key to go everywhere, and I was staying as a secret. And baby, he went to U of M. That's a big deal. It's hard to get into a school like that. He was risking his stay and his situation so that I could be there. So it was like kind of romantic, low-key. Baby, I was going to all kind of parties. It was lit, like I said, until it wasn't. It got really boring. It got really old really fast. He grew up kind of traditional. Woman cooks, cleans, everything when it comes to the house. The man goes to work, this, that, the third. But you're in college, so you really can't work for real. Only money you get, you're pretty much paying for your basics. And even then, your family kind of pays for that. So he was just really spoiled, and he had that mindset. He didn't even know how to wash his own clothes, which gags me because he was a bedwetter. I stayed. I found that out in a hotel after we was a year in. That's a whole nother story time. What made me leave? I started being nonchalant again, so he would be venting to his friends. And long story short, his friends kept telling him and convincing him that women like men that can take control. Sometimes you need to get a little bit aggressive with your woman for them to understand and respect you. So he started getting more and more aggressive. He would grab my hand. He would grab my wrist. He would just be more assertive. I didn't like that. And I made it clear that would be the number one absolute reason why I would leave. He drew blood. That's another story time. But yes, that's what made me leave. So dodge the bullet. If you want part 5, let me know. I got more.
I basically dated like the devil last year. One of the worst people I've ever met in my life. And I thought I'd make a little list of all the things that I overlooked before I ended up leaving, because it's ridiculous. And this should be a great example of why you need to leave at the first red flag, because it only gets worse. One of the first things that I thought was insane is he was in my apartment while I was at class, and I had a long day, and I was starving. And I walked back to my apartment, and outside the door I smell steak. And I'm like, oh my God, this man that I love so much just made me steak. Like, we had talked about it earlier too. No, babe. He cooked 2 steaks for himself in my kitchen, in my apartment, didn't even clean up. And I walked in and I was distraught. I think I cried because I was so sad and hungry. I went and stayed at his house for like a couple of days, and I was sick, and I asked him if he could go make me some tea because I was feeling really bad, and if I could just lay in bed while he made it. And he goes, I don't want my parents to think that I do everything for you, so you have to come downstairs with me. Mind you, I was so sick. This one's like really bad. He never really like commented on my body that much. Later into our relationship, I started working out and like kind of getting my health in order and whatnot, and that's when he said, he was like, oh, I didn't realize how bad it was now that I'm seeing you like this. I didn't realize how skinny you could actually be. Yeah, that wasn't good. Oh yeah, and another time I visited him, it was after I graduated college and I was fully financially independent, needed to save money, and I told him I would buy the flight over if he wouldn't mind paying for like my food while I was there. Because mind you, he had daddy's credit card. He wasn't paying for anything really. He did. Actually, he didn't. I actually bought breakfast a couple of times and cooked, by the way. He made a fucking notes app of every single cent he spent. And you know what? The crazy part is when we started dating, he would go on these whole rants about how he wanted to be a provider and how he wanted to take care of me. He was literally tracking it down to the cent and over exaggerating. And I was cooking the food that he bought for us too, and cleaning and pretty much doing everything for him. Oh yeah, he made me have a panic attack the night of my graduation party because I asked him to clean up in my apartment the mess he made of his dirty wet zins and empty beer cans. We went to dinner and I was pissed off at him because he was being disgusting in my apartment. We came home and he was like, the first thing I'm gonna do when I get home is clean up. We were about to leave. I walk into my kitchen and I see the beer cans right next to the trash. Not in the trash, right next to the trash. And I lost it and I had a full-on panic attack. I'm kind of making this video as a warning to women. I don't care how lonely you are. I don't care how sweet he is in the beginning. These men will absolutely destroy your brain from the inside and out. And it took me months to recover. He did a lot worse stuff that I don't feel comfortable putting on the internet, but those are some stories. Those are just a few.
Oh, wait, why am I getting sad?
Things my extremely evil ex did to me and I still stayed. Okay, so throughout our whole relationship, this guy would always ask me to watch movies. So what he would do is he would screen share the movie through FaceTime. So it would always be like on his phone kind of, and I would just be on FaceTime watching it. But he would always tell me like specific times. He would always be like, oh yeah, from like 2 to 3 FaceTime me because we're going to watch this movie. Oh, from 4 to this, you're going to FaceTime me. We're going to watch this movie. And like, yeah, I found it weird, but it was just like, why would that be bad? Like, he just wants to watch a movie. Okay, cute. Throughout the watches of these movies, I would always unmute myself sometimes, be like, oh my god, like, did you see that? Or like, oh, can you pause it? Like, I'm gonna go get something and I don't want to miss it. And he would never respond to me. Like, it was always silent. And it was just like, okay, like, it's getting a little sus. But at the same time, like, it's screen sharing, FaceTime, it gets laggy, it could crash, whatever. But the movie would literally be done, and mind you, this would happen all the time. We'd watch movies. The movies would always end, and he would still not respond. Like, it was just like, hey, like, the movie's done, like, you could stop screen sharing and like talk to me. Never. And his excuse was always the same. Oh my god, sorry babe, like I fell asleep. And like, okay, maybe he had like a little sleeping problem, I don't know. But and then after we broke up, I come to find that he was making fun of me with his friends and like kind of giving his like homies like a freaking life hack, telling them like, oh, like, yeah, like if you guys ever want to be sneaky, like just put a movie on for them and dip it. Like they will never know, they won't check your location, and they won't like ask you questions. Mind you, I was never even the crazy girl to be like, oh my god, like tripping on him if he went out. So I don't know why he was acting like I was crazy, but I did fall for it because I would always take us to watch the movie. And this is like during the time I found out he was like cheating on me. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was really funny because he would always choose the longest movies too. Like, okay.
Okay, so here is a comprehensive list of all the things that my ex-wife did and I still stayed. If you came from my story time about how she cheated on me with my hairstylist, here you go, some more tea. Let's see, starting off strong, she lied about how old she was on a dating app. So we matched on Tinder. It said that she was 29. I was 22 at the time. I like older women. And after 2 weeks of us seeing each other, she said, hey, I'm actually 31. I put my age as 29 because I was afraid I might be too old for some people who cap their age limit at 30. And I wanted to be sure that I was still able to match with people. So she lied about that. for the first few months that we were seeing each other, like casually, she would get horribly drunk off of Canadian Club whiskey and would stay up until the early hours of the morning. We'd be hanging out. I would get up and go to work at, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, but she would sleep until about 1 p.m. because she was technically self-employed. Speaking of being self-employed, she was also committing various types of fraud because she forged a bunch of documents and created 2 fake businesses so that she could contact like wholesalers and buy things wholesale and then repackage them and sell them on Amazon under a fake business. And at the time I was like, that's kind of creative. That's a little crafty. Like, I love it. We're very anti-establishment. Like, that's all good and well. But then things started getting tricky with taxes. Oh, hey, baby. One night when we were hanging out, she got really drunk and was like, man, I really love being with you as opposed to my ex. I mean, even though my ex was mega hot, she didn't really have like much personality. Like, she was kind of flighty and annoying. And I was like, oh, okay. Speaking of her ex, she got a happy birthday text from her ex, and this was about 8 months into us seeing each other, 2 months into moving in together. Her ex texted her happy birthday, and I had her phone because I was taking pictures of her with it, and I saw the text come through, and it turns out my ex had responded to her and said, thank you, insert pet name that she called her ex while they were together. She was in a band, and she said that being flirty with girls was part of being in a band and that it wasn't that serious and that she might have to do that from time to time, but that I shouldn't be concerned about it because that's just what it means to be a rock star. She never brushed her teeth in the morning. She thought it was annoying and didn't want to do it. And so, yeah. When we were planning on having a baby, because we got married and planned on having a baby because I'm stupid, she said that she was worried about the sperm donor that we were going to pick for our baby because I had a weak jaw and she didn't want the sperm donor to also have that issue since I was going to be the one carrying, so we needed to make sure that we found someone with, enough bone structure. She was a sports fan, and she would get embarrassingly upset when her team would lose. The team was the Cowboys, and from what I understand, they kind of suck anyway. And yeah, she would be screaming, laying against the wall. It would dictate her mood for the rest of the day or possibly the week. I took her on a trip to Atlanta for her birthday to see a celebrity that she really liked, and we forgot to make reservations for dinner on this busy weekend in Atlanta. So everywhere was really full, places were closing, we couldn't get in. So we go up to this one bar that is very obviously closing down, and she walks in and asks and says, hey, is you guys' kitchen open? Are you guys still open? And they said, no, it's not. We're literally closing in a few minutes. And she said, I don't care, and sat down. And I tried to convince her to leave, and she said, no, I'm done looking for places. We're gonna sit here and they're gonna figure it out. And then she proceeded to start eating other people's leftovers, people who had been at the bar top and had apps. It was mixed nuts and things like that. She started eating people's food that they had left at the bar and then yelled at me in the car because she was so upset. She got really into sports betting when that became a thing and the apps were super accessible, so she was addicted to sports betting. And one night she lost $15,000 gambling. And this was the night before one of our appointments at the fertility clinic because we were trying to have a baby. I basically got catfished by an Airbnb. I booked us a trip to the beach, and this Airbnb looked really nice for the price. It turned out the photos were just really old, and this place was really shitty, and I felt terrible. She was trying to get her sports on the TV, but she couldn't get the Wi-Fi to work. Admittedly, it sucked. It was really disappointing, and I felt bad. But I had her phone trying to set up the Wi-Fi for her because she was throwing a baby fit about how she couldn't get it to work. So I was being the Gen Z and setting up her phone. And I saw a text from her sister come through that was a little sus. And so I look, she had texted her sister about how god awful it was and how she's so disappointed for the whole weekend. It was ruined and she can't even get sports on the TV and that it just sucks so bad and she can't believe that I messed up like that. And then last but not least, if you came from the series before, she tried to cheat on me with my friend, who's also my hairstylist, unsuccessfully the first time, and then proceeded to say she wanted an open relationship. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. But then I agreed to let her date other people for a bit and move out to see if that's really what she wanted. But I said, please just don't date my friends. And she said, oh God, no, of course not. And then I found out she was dating my friend, and they were both lying about it to me for 3 months. And then I thought that was the end of it. And then I found out that they had been seeing each other even before that. Meanwhile, the whole time, my ex-wife is still telling me that she's in love with me and that she thinks my friend is ugly and not as interesting or attractive as I am, and that she was just doing it because she's an addict and she's going through a midlife crisis. But they are still together to this day, 3 years later. So, ta-da!
Y'all finna do things my ex did and I still stayed. And I ain't gonna lie, this video might be a little long because that nigga was playing my face bad, but love make you do some crazy things. I did some crazy things. Okay, y'all, so I got the iPad and I'm finna tell y'all everything he did and I stayed. Well, this like half of it, kinda. Okay, so it's not in order, but here we go. Okay, y'all, starting off hot. One day at school, I was walking up the stairs. I saw him hug a girl. Now, mind you, we both got homegirls and homeboys, but he got homegirls. Asked him who the girl was. He said it was his sister. Okay, cool. Like a week later, I found out that they had been together for a really long time the previous year. Okay, you lied about that. Whatever. Cool. Couple, like a month or two later, I went through his phone. Not went through his phone, but I saw the notification pop up. He had a 289-day streak with said girl. We've been talking for almost 300. Okay. He cheated on me with my hairstylist and lied and said he didn't. His father called me a hot ass little girl. Okay. He was buying girls that I was cool friends with food and then walking them to class with said food with his arm around said person. Okay. He told me his ex texted him and said that she missed him. I asked the girl and she sent me the screenshot of him saying he missed her first. And then lied and said it wasn't him. It was photoshopped. I saw the messages with my own two eyes. I even called the girl. Okay. He had a group chat with him and all his homegirls and homeboys. And he was talking to one of the girls in the group chat while me and him were very, very deeply together. And I ended up in an argument with the girl and 12 of her friends with him in the group chat by myself. He watched. He said he was asleep. They called me everything but a child of God. I survived though. Amen. Oh, he lied on almost all of his deceased family members that he wasn't cheating. In fact, he was. I had 3 dreams that he was cheating on me. I never said anything about the dreams. I went through his phone. All 3 dreams were true. I stayed though. I stayed. He found my best friend's Instagram and liked all of her Instagram posts except one. I ain't gonna put them all on him. He liked all of her Instagram posts except one. I told him one of my close family members passed. His response was, "Damn, that's crazy. I just got some Chick-fil-A though." I'm serious. We're gonna end the video here. For Christmas, I was feeling very generous, amen. Mind you, he says he has money. He says he's having. I bought him a Nike quarter zip, Burberry cologne, a LED noise cancellation headset for his PS5, and some PSD boxers. Let me tell y'all what I got. I got a 2018 Victoria's Secret gift set and a gift card. So don't come calling me a duck, a bird, an eagle, a swan, a fish. I was just a little colorblind to the red flags, you know. And I learned my lesson. That's all that matters. I learned my lesson. Amen. And I survived. But never again. Thank you for listening.
Number 2. He got mad at me because my birds are boys. Yep, that's right. My 2 budgies are boys. And I can't have boys in my room. So he got very mad at me. Almost a breakup. Number 3. I wasn't allowed to post TikToks. Yep, that's right. I wasn't allowed to post nothing at all. And that's why I'm trying to become an influencer. To prove him wrong. I wasn't allowed to post TikToks, post on Instagram, post photos because he didn't want other men seeing me. Number 4. I wasn't allowed to call my friends past 9 PM. Yeah, I had to be on call to him. Routine. Number 5, I had a bedtime. If you didn't guess already, same like the last one, my bedtime was 10:30 p.m. at my big age. Bedtime, yeah. If I left the house, I had to be on the phone to him. Couldn't go for a walk, couldn't go to a shop, I had to be on the phone to him. So you can imagine, my meetups with my friends weren't nice. Obviously, I did not stay on the phone to him at my friend's house. He just got very pressed that I wasn't on the phone to him while I was hanging out with my friends trying to bond. Number 5, last but not least, no piercings. None. That's right, not allowed any piercings. Because he was afraid that other men would pierce me. Even if I said a girl would pierce me, Even if I requested to pierce myself, nope. You can't ruin your body. I'm sorry, but you are not a parent. And I am of age to be getting piercings without having to ask for permission. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and there is much more. If you want part 2, let me know. Also, thank you so much for 20k. I love all of you baddies. Love you, bye.
Insane things my ex did and I still stayed, starting with if he was sitting, I had to be sitting. So if I had to go to the bathroom, I would have to wait for him to stand up to get a drink, whatever. And if I could not hold it, I would have to ask permission to get up and be like, I really can't hold it. So when he would stand up, he would be like, if you have to go to the bathroom, now's your time to go. Followed by, I wasn't allowed to be around people that smoked cigarettes. That was a huge thing for him for some reason, and that made it complicated because some of my family members smoked, and he's like, if they start smoking in front of you, you have to leave. He also didn't like people cussing in front of me, and I remember one time his parents had picked me up and his dad said the C word, see you next Tuesday, and I thought it was hilarious because his dad's like a super holy man, and I was telling him about it like it was funny, and he screamed at his dad so bad. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? And then there was another time that we went camping and he tried to do this, you need to be sitting because I'm sitting thing in front of my parents, and it caused a huge fight because my mom told me to do the dishes in the camper, but he was sitting. And so I was like, I don't know what to do. And my mom was like, Allie, get up. What are you doing? Do the dishes. So I start doing the dishes. And then he was like, you need to be sitting right now because I've not got up. And I said, yeah, but I just need to get the dishes done. And he said, well, you can get them done the next time I stand. My stepdad almost killed him. Like, they were fighting. And then I was like, to my mom and stepdad, I was like, you guys ruined everything. Oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Wearing leggings and having cleavage is cheating. Yeah, like 100% is cheating. I was not allowed to be around my male cousins. Any of my cousins that were guys, it didn't matter if it was Christmas, Thanksgiving, an event. If they're there, I was not to go. Yeah. He had to leave for work every day at 5 a.m. So I was to get up at 3:45 every morning and make him a full breakfast. Every single morning, even if I was sick. Oh, and here's a good one. When we would be doing it, it would never feel good. It would always be painful for him to like come in and out. And so he told me that if this continues, I'm going to have surgery to loosen it up because he's not going to keep dealing with that. Also, I was not allowed to kiss him without performing. Yeah. That was just like a rule. He pretty much was like, don't kiss me unless you're fully prepared to do that. Because giving someone blue balls is manipulative and abuse. Girls, this is not normal stuff. I was a teenager. It was my first real relationship, and I really deadass thought this was normal.
Okay, we're going to do things our exes did, but we still stayed with them after they did those things. Okay, so I'll go first. Okay, so one time when we were doing the deed, afterwards, I was like, because we had just gotten into the relationship, I was like, so does this mean that you like me? And he was like, well, yeah, if J doesn't end up coming back to me.
Okay, we went to Silver City and we saw James Charles, and he wouldn't let me take a picture with just me and him because he said, why do you want to take a picture with another guy?
We'll insert the pic here.
Yes.
Okay, so it was my birthday and he didn't text me the whole day. And then, like, we texted, but like not about my birthday. And then I asked him if he wanted to come to dinner with my family. and I didn't need to give the reason. And he said that he's good, that he's eating with his friends. And I was like, okay. So then I called him at 12:01 on the next day, and I was like, hey, you forgot my birthday. He's like, no, I didn't. Happy birthday. And it was the day after my birthday.
Okay, while we were, you know, he took my socks off, kissed my foot, and said, thank you for painting your toes for me, baby. And then while we were, you know, wanted to look at my feet. So.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so after we've been dating, he told me that I needed to move out of my parents' house because they were going to hell, and that I was probably going to go to hell if I continued to live with them. And then told me that I should just stop worrying about school because I'm a woman, and girls don't need an education.
Oh my god. Okay, after he told me that he cheated on me, I begged for him to stay, and he said that he would cheat on me again, and to not, like, he doesn't want to stay in the relationship because he said that he would cheat on me again, like, to my face. And I still begged for him to stay, and he didn't. So
okay, so this one, after we did the thing, he looked at me and said, are we good now? Gave me a fist bump and didn't talk to me the rest of the night. Wow.
Okay, he told me that I am currently the best blonde that he has in his phone. So,
right. Okay, so for Halloween, we got our couples costumes, and we were going to a Halloween party. We had like 3 Halloween parties, and we were going to our second one, and I asked him if he was gonna wear his costume, and he was like, yeah. And then I got in his truck, and I saw a different costume, and I asked him what it was for, and he was like, oh, just in case Jay wants to twin.
Okay, so while we were dating, he didn't have a car, so if we wanted to hang out, I had to pick him up and, like, leave from my house, pick him up, and then drive back to my house because we couldn't hang out at his house because he said that his parents were worried about that or whatever. So we'd have to hang out at my house all the time. And also, since he didn't have a car, he always needed someone to pick him up from work, so I had to drive all the way across town and pick him up from work and then take him back home.
He wouldn't let me have Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Block Blast, or TikTok because they were idols in my life. And I downloaded Block Blast, and he would check my screen time weekly to see if I had those apps, and I forgot to delete Block Blast, so it still showed up that I had Block Blast. And so he left my house and didn't talk to me for 3 days.
Okay, so I don't like strawberries, and what he got me for Valentine's Day, he got me chocolate covered strawberries, like the nice expensive ones, and he told me that he didn't realize that I didn't like strawberries until after he bought them, but he still decided to give them to me instead of getting me something else.
He told me that if I cut my hair, that he would break up with me, and that I had a blonde in my hair at the time, and he told me that that was a sin in itself. So I dyed my hair black because that was the counteract, and he told me that I needed to go repent because I just put more artificial stuff in my hair.
Okay, so I phone peeped on my ex's phone, and I found out that his ex was second on his best friends list, and I asked him like why like she was second, and he said that it was because he was just making sure that she was okay from something that happened the week prior, and he didn't unadd her, and he kept snapping her. Also, her best friend was 4th on his best friends list as well.